recording. So I am absolutely honored to have an amazing soul who has inspired me a lot with his posts and his shares and just the very nature of how he is, Dino Pacella. I hope I got that right.
Mo, you got it perfectly well. How are you? Lovely chatting to you.
Absolutely. So I am so happy to have you here. As I'm exploring LinkedIn and what it means to really build to build connections and to hear the stories of people, you fell under my radar, and I thought I would love to know your courage story because I am all about stepping up into courage. So Dino, tell me, what is your courage story? You are in this finance world and you're recognized for so many things. You've won a lot of awards, you've achieved a lot of recognitions and titles. Is there a courage story in that?
Do you know what? I would say my courage would come from past experiences in life. As with most people, I think it really comes down to taking the positives away from life experiences and the big life experiences at that. And I've had a couple of bigger experiences through life. So we talk about having to start again sometimes and picking yourself up off the floor and not crawling under the desk in the fetal position and having a bit of a cry and thinking, oh, life's getting too hard. What am I going to do next? So I suppose sharing a little bit into it, I did have to do that twice. So that wonderful big reset button on life, I had to press it twice in the last 12, 13 years, I would say.
Wow.
So when you come back and you start from nothing, I suppose the courage is built in to you. So you either have that fight or flight response. And fortunately, after doing it 2 times, you learn a hell of a lot.
Oh, definitely.
And you go, I'm not doing it a 3rd time. So that courage and that determination now and the resilience to say, nothing is going to get in my way anymore. I'm going to do what I feel is right. And I want to do right by other people now. So the courage isn't all about me anymore. It's about us. So hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense. And I love the fact that you use that word choice. You say looking at things that you have done and learning from it, picking out the lessons. So if I would ask you, what are the core lessons that you would want to share about stepping up into your courage, learning from whatever mistakes or just the past? What would you like to share with us?
I think I've talked about it before, man. You've probably seen the post about having the right people around you, right? That little circle of influence that you can, when you're having a bad day or something isn't going your way, you can actually pick up the phone and have a real honest conversation with somebody and vice versa. You trust that person enough or those people enough where if you're feeling down and sorry for yourself, they can give you a gentle kick up the backside and say, do you know what? Your feelings are genuine, but you need to get over this because your end goal is going to suffer. So I think getting in there, getting the right people around you, and we get to a certain point in our lives that if those people aren't right for you, as painful as it might be, you need to let them go. And whether that's from a personal or a professional sense. So the divorce I went through, that was a perfect example of that, even though I'm still friends with my ex-wife. It wasn't the best relationship for either of us nor the children. So we recognize that, and everybody is better off for it. So it might be painful at that point, but having the courage, and we say it again, to move on and see the bigger picture for the benefit of not only yourself, but for those immediate people around you.
Yeah, fantastic. I like that. The mindset is important, isn't it? I like the fact that you're saying, yes, what the emotions we feel, at that moment, the thing is happening. You feel overwhelmed, you feel down. Thousands of things are happening at the same time. If I asked you, what role does having a strong mindset, emotional intelligence awareness, what does that play in overcoming life situations? And I wouldn't say bad situations, good situations. I love to say when life happens, how important is a strong mindset?
I'd say given the path that my life has taken and the journey that I get to choose now, I'd say it's extremely important to me. And I know it's extremely important to other people. And I always on the mindset that no one controls how I feel and no one controls my reactions to certain situations. People may upset you, but it's my choice to say, am I going to be upset with you for the next 5 hours, or am I going to be upset with you for the next 5 minutes, and then brush it off and move on? So they're my choices, and that's all about having a really strong mindset, because people that don't have that, and that sometimes that's through experiences and through choices, life can become extremely difficult when you get pushed and shoved and pulled by other people around you. And your mind isn't strong enough to say, no, these are my feelings. You're not going to make me feel that way.
That's lovely. I see you as someone who is doing amazing work. You're in finance, and being here in Luxembourg, I get to see a lot of people who are just super stressed and they have to make high pressure decisions. So I feel like you would be a great person to tell me, what do you think about success? How would you define it? And what is necessary for that to be a great way of moving in one's career?
Yes, you know, I can give you the corporate response. I'm going to take.
I want the Dino response.
You need to be determined and you need to break through barriers. But I will give you the Dino response. I really think now you need to. Yes, you do need to have your goals.
Yeah.
Right. And behind me, I'm not going to turn my iPad around, but behind me, I have my personal goals that I want to achieve within a certain amount of time, and I'll keep that private to myself at the moment. But there's certain little structures on what I need to do to achieve that. So some of those, and they're not all business. They're not saying I want to earn $500,000 a year in the next 12 months. They're things that are important to me. So they're really those human experiences that haven't happened yet.
Yeah.
That I want to go, I want that to happen, but how do I make that happen? And yes, finances come into play on doing that, but it's really about, it's that genuine ability to help people now. And I would say success comes down to that. The more people I can touch and help and influence and motivate, you know, if it's 5% of the follower base out of LinkedIn that you do from every single post, then there might be 100 people every day that you touch in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
And, you know, that is a huge success for me. I don't need to influence thousands of people every day because that's not possible.
Yeah.
To where I am.
Yeah.
Helping people and being authentic. And I'm going to use the R word, respect people and treat people with respect.
I love
that. Feel them, get them comfortable to a position. People always remember that you made them feel comfortable and you made them feel safe.
Yes. Yes.
You don't do that, people forget about you very, very bloody quickly.
Yes, I like that you bring that up because I read in your profile and it says he approaches each day knowing that people will most of the time forget what you say, but they will never forget how you make them feel. And I think that's what you've just touched upon, that human factor. No matter what it is we are doing, we are humans first. That's where we can tap from. That's where we can get our creativity from, our insights, the ways we solve things that happen when life happens, right? So I really like that. And that brings me to Ubervation. Ubervation. I was just like, that is such a cool word to say, Ubervation. And what does that mean? Ubervation. What is it all about?
Okay, so Ubervation came about. I started it first of all just sharing a 1-minute video around something that I learned for that week, and I was doing that on the Friday afternoons. And I thought, how about if I structured this a little bit more? And Uber, I suppose, being the disruptor in the taxi industry or the public transport industry,
okay,
I thought Uber being a disruptor in the motivation, inspirational space, but doing it from an educational viewpoint and bringing that to people every Wednesday now. So I suppose Uber was an amalgamation of that disruptor, as well as the end word of inspiration, motivation, and education all into the one. So those Wednesday videos that I put out are all about aiming to educate, inspire, or motivate. And I always keep that in mind before I press that record button, and I watch it back and I go, if I didn't educate, motivate, or inspire myself, it's not good enough for the people out there. So that's what it's about. It's about sharing those experiences and helping people along the way.
I love that. I love that. And then one other question that I'm always super curious. How do you keep yourself motivated? Motivation is something that, I always, personally, I feel motivation is not just putting a Post-it on your fridge or next to your bathroom mirror and saying, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I've tried it, it doesn't work. It has to come from, I think it has to come from within. So how do you, what are your tips on being able to tap into motivation, if that is an inner source? What can you say about that?
My answer is probably really, really simple and easy to that question. It's finding your why and your passion on what you want to do and what drives you. If you find something that you really love and, I want to do that every single day for the rest of my life, you don't need to put a motivational post up on your mirror and read that every morning, because the passion comes from inside of you, and that motivation will automatically be driven by that passion wheel. And I've got that in my finance. I've got that now helping people through Ubervation. And I feel strongly that that's my passion. That's part of my why. And that drives me to stay motivated. I don't need to do anything extra, because the passion, as corny as it sounds, fuels that fire and makes it bigger every single day to do it. So I sound like a Hallmark card, but that's what really drives it. It's that passion. You just got to find out what you love, and go and bloody do it.
Yeah. Being human. How important is that? Being human in today's world. It's fast paced. Everybody's kind of like in an elbow society a little bit. Not everyone, but still, you sort of want to get ahead. You look at the other person and you want to do better, or you want to do as good as that person. How, being human, what is that to you?
That's being real. And I suppose being real is about just share your life stuff. People have gone through similar things that you have.
Yeah.
And getting out of your own little bubble and thinking it's not always about me. Because, half of the time people don't care about you unless you're willing to share. As painful as that may sound, it's just like going out and I'm worried about what I'm going to wear today.
Yeah.
99% of the people out there probably don't care if I'm wearing a red shirt or a blue shirt today. So it's getting out of that mindset, going, well, I want to be real. I want to talk to people. I want to help people.
Yeah.
And genuine. I did talk about on the comfort before, but it's a matter of not about just making people feel comfortable a little bit. It's about making them feel comfortable to the point where, I know, like you, we've chatted a couple of times.
Oh, yes.
Comfortable enough to talk to you about it.
Yes.
Because you put me at ease. And when people talk to me around Australia and they go, do you know him around Alexa? I just said, yeah, it's wonderful, because you've given me that level, that warmth and that comfort that, I can be myself and I don't need to put on a facade. I'm hoping people that look at this that have met me and they'll have that down will go, you know what, that is him. And same, and vice versa with yourself.
Yeah.
Video.
Absolutely. Being human, no masks, treating each other with love, with compassion, and with a deep-seated respect. Sort of throwing out those evaluations and judgment, and really understanding that you can learn so much from one another when you let that inner energy flow. And I really love that. So one more question before we end this, which is, people can go to your profile and they can see, oh, that's what Dino is about. But I want to know one thing about Dino, which I cannot read anywhere on your profile or see. Tell us something that we don't know about you. And I'm sure Bruno, he was like, yeah, you know, we work together, we do this show together, but you know, we don't, there must be something we don't know. So tell us, what is it?
My man-mountain friend, Bruno, or gentle giant, as people call it. You know, if I share something that's not on my profile, I almost became a professional football player.
Whoa.
When I was 16, I stayed in Milan, in Italy for, God, how long was I? 4 to 6 months at that time. I was trialing with Inter Milan back then. And I was training with a few international stars, and that was a hell of an experience, being away from home at 16, taking up something that is a religion to people in Italy, and that's what it is. It's a way of life. It's not just a sport. So I suppose learning to adapt and having resilience, because things as I lived a professional sports life for a number of months. It was learning to adapt and be resilient, being resilient, I should say, because so many things do not go your way. It is not, I'm a structure and I've got to do these 10 things today. Guess what? Half of those probably will fail before you even start the day. So it's, and I take a lot of that out now around that resilience piece and that adaptability to be able to form into different relationships with people and communicate with different people all across the globe. So it's knowing how to do that, how to read people and how to make them feel comfortable and be genuine. And we've been talking about that for
Oh, thank you so much.
That's something different that, you know, it would have been lovely to get paid $100,000 to kick a ball around, but I'm happy with doing what I'm doing.
Thank you so much, Dino. You know, talking to you is just, it teaches me so much as I step into my courage and I listen to the courage stories of others and hope that if only one person can learn and be inspired by what we've shared, I mean, then I think it's absolutely worth being oneself and doing things the way one does. So thank you so much. I am honored, I'm humbled, and I'm so happy that we've had this talk.
Welcome. Thank you. I don't know how to do a virtual hug.
Let's thank you so much. Thank you so much. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.